This is Mark Farrar with Not Square Design. Just going to run through a super preliminary. I'm just kind of getting the feel for kind of how we want to lay out a house where roof was burnt, and we're going to take the roof off and try and replace it with some attic type trusses so that the lath and plaster ceiling doesn't get ruined in inclement weather. So we can do this quickly. So we're going to tear this roof off that was here in this location, and then roll out these trusses. Now I got to talk to the manufacturer about getting these to the site and give them dimensions and stuff, and just make sure that we don't have to make any adjustments to how those work. And so as we go through this, basically just have a living room. There's a nice wall area here that a television can go on, or however the homeowner would like to lay it out. Put ceiling fans in these two areas. I've just got a nice light here, some lighting here. All this stuff would be up to them, including cabinet choices and such. And I decided to kind of transition the floor here to show it could be done. Or we could run the wood that's in this area all the way through, whether that's an engineered wood, which would be more likely to be budget friendly, or on true hardwood. And so lath and plaster for the most part is pretty intact post fire. There's some damage over the area here, but I think they're just gonna replaster a portion or the entire ceiling. We'll see how that goes. I should probably leave that on. Let me turn this layer off just so I don't have to deal with it or see it. So, and then shrink that back down so this fits better. So, the request was for an island with a stovetop in it. If I zoom in on the kitchen itself, we've got a 12-inch island. I did put 12-inch deep cabinets facing outward, and then 24-inch deep housing. What I show is an induction range, may not be in budget, so they may go gas. And then we have the uppers, lowers, sink, and like I said, I placed the fridge out here to give this more room. And then over here I've got a 12-inch sideboard, and that could be lengthened if they wanted. There's plenty of room. 6-top table in here. And like I said, there's just a layout in here that may not even match what they have, although I don't know what furniture was saved. So, master bedroom, I've got a queen size bed in here. Plenty of room for end tables or side tables, and his closet, her closet, because we kind of talked about turning this possibly into an ensuite instead of having it with an angled accesses to both places. So the powder room can now fit generously in here and be back far enough so guests that come over and use the powder room are not in the major traffic area and feel a sense of privacy. The pantry back here has 2 full heights, and this is a block wall. There's 3 windows on this wall. There was one here, but in order to accommodate the stair as designed, and keep this existing wall and this existing wall, and this may be the location of the old existing wall as well. In order to keep those, and this door we kept, and the door that was here, you'll see there's a transition in the way that old lath and plaster goes to stud drywall. So that'd be something, it's in the back of the closet. Do they want to redo it? That all comes down to budget. And then the laundry, I've got 2 front load machines in here. I haven't even built countertops and stuff because want to get some preliminary thoughts on what they feel about this sort of plan. The door is right where it was. The window is under the stair, but it had to be reduced in size because this cut into it. I have to insulate underneath the stairway. And Montana's winter conditions. So walk up the door, and so this is kind of deceiving. This is all clear because this is all free head clearance. So you can walk this whole deck and down these stairs, and then here's their garbage can. Still has complete access through the alley, and this roof covers all the way over the garage. And once I get some thoughts back, we'll work more on how the roof actually looks. And then man door to the garage, just rebuilt the walls over the existing pad, and this was completely burned away. So then when we get upstairs, it's kind of a free-for-all. You know, this line here, I'm gonna even, let's just turn that layer off. And so that is currently on roof rafters, framing roof rafters. Let's just turn that off because it is a little confusing to have that on. And so framing roof rafters off. Okay. So just kind of called it a bonus room for now. These are cameras and stuff that we'll walk around inside. But any of these could be open, and so what that truss was doing was going across here, a double truss here, a double truss here. We'll have to figure out how wide we want this to be. These are on 48-inch increments. That's why they're doubled. So they're on 48-inch increments, so we'll have to put in purlins to support the plywood, but they can just be blocking basically. And then I just showed that, you know, we can configure a bathroom up in this kind of off the side space if we went with this stair location. Now, I have one that's C1 where I did a different type of stair, but as I started working with that, I just started thinking about this way and ended up taking this one further. So this is the one I went with for now. So let's just switch screens. Yeah, that's that truss section and section at the porch. So those aren't what I'm looking for. So we're just going to switch to the other side and let's close that. And so this is the garage, and to keep snow from falling in front of the garage, we're looking at a shed design. And so I went with a 4 and 12 pitch, and we could even reduce that to a 3 and 12, which brings us down even more. And actually, for as deep as this is, it was a decent amount. And then I even played around with one portion where I dropped this to a 6-foot back wall, which really won't affect things too badly. So if that's something they're open to, then we can do that. And then how they might want to finish this, of course, probably also comes down to budget issues. And then we can walk on through the breezeway, and there's the door into the garage, and just a standard garage. Nothing particular about that, and we did work within the footprint. Now this is just showing that we'd have to close in that window space with something, and so I just used the siding that. And the reason I'm using this siding is because with the program it's just a decent match for this siding that was down in between these areas of block wall. And so I just thought it looked pretty good. Don't worry about little things like this guy. I can even, I think, get rid of it now. I just kept stuff like that around, and like up here I have put in part of the fascia, but I'm not going to finish this sort of stuff out until we've got more finalizing on the design. So there's some fascia boards waiting out here to seal this up if we come to something. So on the outside, this is a very high window. You can see looking through in its relationship to like that door that was in that bathroom upstairs. And when we go in, we can look at that better too. And then this window is actually lower than standard. And so if you look at inside, you'll see that the door, which is standard height, is slightly taller than where this window sits. And I just wanted to show this because when we go around, and don't worry about these holes in the walls, those are all things that once we get to where we like something. Another way, this is the actual standard height for a window, but you can see that, you know, it even blocks the fact that these could be operable, at least at the current height for this tongue and groove. Now I can raise the tongue and groove up a little bit to make it operable windows, at least not get in the way of and hitting the window itself. But the other thing we can do, which adds quite a bit of expense, is turn this into a dormer. And that means some overframing, probably tripling up the rafters like this. This here is a double. And then it would be like I had shown here. Oh, let me grab that. Like it's shown here, it'll be a truss. And that truss is all one piece and rolls out. And if we can get this trucked at this full size, it come in one piece. If not, we do have a wall down here. So I'll discuss that with the manufacturer, because we could either make these butt on that wall or bypass. If they bypass, we have to think about how this is no longer probably going to be aligned. But keeping that in mind, that webbing is in here. So up, down, and it's going up to the top cord, which is up above what you're seeing here in the ceiling. And then below this, I would put drywall. And so I'd have drywall at this level down here. Down at this level across, and then on up the wall. So that would be the true height of the wall. And this is that higher window. So from a human perspective, that's about what it's going to look like. So could you walk up and look out? Sure. Let's just take a look at the bottom. So the bottom of this window is about 5 feet. So you can see it's quite a bit higher, but that just had to be because of the nature of the roof outside. If we use this design and keep that wall back over the top of the supporting wall down below, the simplest form of construction, but we'd have to extend what was a short roof further back up. And can I change this pitch? I sure could. So, but if we change the pitch, then the one thing that we'd have to do is figure out how we deal with this existing, you know, it's pretty beautiful finish out here. How to deal with that so that this stays perfectly matched, which would basically mean that this will fade back to something like this. This would slope down, and in fact, I might. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to show, but if I lock the fascia and then turn this to, let's just say, a 4, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about as far as how it would happen. And then I'd have to blend this somehow, because this we don't want to take apart, because this is that existing roof that we just cut back and then put the upstairs up above it. So when we get into that, let's just take a look at how much space we have in here. And it's quite a bit. So we have a lot of space. That's the standard height window with a 6/8 top to match the 6/8 door. And this is the lowered window on this side. And this is kind of the space that even this confined area bathroom allows for a separate room for the toilet. And this is something that we could just put the plumbing in and leave it be. I mean, if you can't finish any of this out right now, then it could even stay undrywalled. Although I recommend at least drywalling it, insulating it and drywalling it for energy purposes. This is a piece that I need to lower because it's the roof that's down over the porch, and it bumped up on its own, changing some walls around, but I can fix that. Now this stuff that's in the way is just because I don't want to move it until we come upon some sort of design that sort of makes sense. So we walk down to the bottom of the stair, and let's just go into what's more familiar in the house. So here's the front door, and then as we come through that existing door and into the new bath, or sorry, the new bedroom design, there's the his and the hers closet. Haven't put any rod or stuff like that in it yet. And then let's go here, and I just want to make sure that my light set's turned on. Done. Okay. This helps make it more visible. And so this is to represent that pedestal that you've had in the family that survived, and you wish to clean up, reuse. And then full height cabinets in here, and then a tub shower unit. And in your sketch, I wasn't clear on whether you wanted a tub and a shower. My fan's going crazy. No, it's fine. Okay. Just checking my render situation because it was acting like I had it on real-time ray trace. So this is a little cartoonish, but that's just because I haven't hit the ray trace. Because I'll show you why. If I hit ray trace, certainly makes it to a more realistic view. And if I sit here, all this dotting stuff gets better and better and better, and then I can adjust the way that the lighting actually works. But every time I move, it gets fuzzy again. It's a pretty fast machine, so it'll render itself